Hello lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video on the channel. Welcome to Cod Vlogs, Ben Natman EFL, as we go through this week in Sky Bet League 2. We're going to go through the latest match week, all the drama, all the goals, everything that unfolded after the match as well. If you are a fan of League 2, please do me a favour. Go down there, press a like, because that helps a lot. Let's go for 60 likes. Let's really smash that like goal. And subscribe for more EFL content. We're going to go through all the big topics. Let me know your thoughts on this concept. We're going to try and bring it out every week as we go on, every Monday after a match week. We're going to start off in Wales as it was Newport County 1, Gillingham 3, and Gillingham go back to the top of the table with a 3-1 win against Newport County. Gillingham now 21 unbeaten in the fourth tier of English football. Gareth Ainsworth still not lost as Gillingham boss. Unbeaten this term is more important. 6 wins, 3 draws, just their second victory on the road though, this one. And they had to come from a goal down inside the first 30 seconds. Newport did miss a penalty kick, but Gillingham scored 3 goals of their own. A brace from Bradley Dack and an absolute screamer from Johnny Smith secured 3 goals and 3 points for the Gills on the road in South Wales. Newport, though, have lost 6 of their 9 league games this year. Only 1 point at Rodney Parade this term, with 4 defeats there for them on their home path. It needs to be better for County, but coming up against a strong Gillingham side, I think an away win was always going to be a certainty in this one. Gillingham have won 10 and drawn 11 of their last 21 matches in the fourth tier. The roller coaster goes on. The camaraderie goes on. Gareth Ainsworth is now winning games of football they were drawing last year, but also putting on a show for the supporters, showing commitment, desire, and fighting for the football club and the badge. Is a really good start for the Gills. Gareth Ainsworth's style might not be liked from the outside, but right now in Gillingham, he's well loved and adored. Hopefully, Gillingham can get the job done. Salford City played Swindon as the battle of the entertainers face off. Goals, goals, goals between these two sides. Swindon Town have scored the most goals in League 2 this term with 19. Salford City on 16 have also scored the most goals, tied with Notts County, who got 4 yesterday, who we'll come to very shortly. Salford City have now scored 9 goals in their last 3, scoring 3 in each of those matches against Tranmere at home, Shrewsbury away, and now a 3-2 win over Swindon. They were 2-0 up, but Swindon did peg them back. But a late goal from the Ammies got them 3 points at Moor Lane. As for Swindon, it's just their 3rd defeat this season and just their 2nd defeat on the road. They did lose to Walsall on the opening day with a 2-1 scoreline. Since then, won the last 3 on the road, but a 3-2 defeat in Greater Manchester ends that run. Swindon are prime entertainers and they've scored 3 more goals away from home than any other side in the division. Gillingham are the nearest team to them, scoring 8 in their 5 away games. Swindon scoring 11. Ian Holloway's sides are very attacking heavy, like he had at Blackpool, Crystal Palace, and now Swindon Town. A couple of clubs that didn't go too well for him. The fans, the players, the board members are believing in Ian Holloway. He's got Aaron Drinian scoring lots of goals. He scored another one yesterday in League 2. With Holloway's football, they'll score a lot of goals, but they'll also concede a lot of goals. He said he wants his lads to score a lot of goals. He doesn't mind conceding as long as his attacking threats are scoring goals. But Salford City will certainly be up there under Carl Robinson, who have started really well. After a patchy start, the opening day defeat to Crewe, Salford have been immense. They've now picked up 10 points from their last 5 games. Talk about Goals Fest, and that's what Walsall provided us with this weekend in League 2. Walsall 4, Tranmere Rovers 2. Also getting off to a great start this year in League 2. Maybe this year not getting as excited, the fan base, as they saw what happened last year. But you can only judge on what we've seen so far. And that's 6 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats, picking up 19 points from a possible 27. And being immense at home. They've won 4 of the 5 home games this year, only losing at home to Grimsby. It was Ethan Ware who stole the show the other day. He's his first brace in the EFL, netting more goals today against Tranmere Rovers than he scored in his first 20 league games for the Saddlers. Matt Sadler, the manager of the Saddlers, got off to a great start last year and did a good job overall getting them to a playoff final, but in that situation should be doing a lot better. They were 15 points clear at the top of League Two of 4th place, needed to get home and dry, but it will be in the back of the fans' minds, I reckon. But this season, it's a new start. You can't control what's already been and gone. It's been a great start. Daniel Carnew scoring 3 goals in 3 games, loving life in Walsall. It was 4-0 written all over it in Nottinghamshire as Notts County beat newly relegated Crawley Town by 4 goals to 0. And it was Notts County who lit up Meadow Lane on Saturday afternoon. Scott Robertson opened the scoring with his 2nd league goal for County. Alexandra Jatta also added a goal to his tally. It's his first of the season for the football club, but it was a stars of the bench the other day. Tottenham loanee Tyrese Hall came on 20 minutes from time and got a brace, but it was Luton loanee Jaden Luca who came off the bench and got 3 second-half assists, showing the strength in depth that Notts County can have. And they know a thing or two about Tottenham loanees. Yeah, George Abbott, on loan from Spurs last year, they'll be open. Tyrese Hall can add a similar impact this year. To start for County, they've now won 4 of the last 6 with a draw in there and a loss in there at Gillingham. 13 points collected from their last 18 available. Scored 4 against Shrewsbury, 4 against Crawley, a 1-0 win against Fleetwood Town and a 2-2 draw against Bromley. Things are slowly starting to tick for the Magpies. As for Crawley, things were starting to turn for them, but after back-to-back victories over Cheltenham and Harrogate, it's a back to reality as they lose 4-0. No harm in that. Scott Lindsay side just need to go back to the drawing board, get back to basics and start getting a few points on the board. One of the results of the weekend came at the high for me as Barnet beat Grimsby by 3 goals to 0. Grimsby only having 1 shot on target in that one. Barnet, after a slow start, losing their first 3 to Fleetwood Town, Bromley and Walsall, they've since won 4 of their next 6, drawing 1, losing 1. Lost to Shrewsbury recently at home. This was actually Barnet's first victory at home. And a bad day at the office for Grimsby. They do have the highest expected goals in League Two with 15.7, 1.4 more than the next in the division. Dean Brennan's side are slowly getting going, slowly picking up points. That's now 13 points collected. They'll just want to keep going. They've ticked everything off they'd want to. Win at home, win away. Got a clean sheet yesterday. We're starting to see the real bees, and they're starting to sting a little bit. A 2-2 draw was played out once again involving Bromley. 4th 2-2 of the season for Bromley as it ends Bromley 2, Chesterfield 2. Chesterfield left frustrated once again as the points were shared. Bromley with 3 consecutive home 2-2 draws. Fleetwood, Gillingham and Chesterfield, a lot of them all resolving in late drama. Chesterfield just 1 win in 5 now for the Sparrows, but only lost 1 in 5. So there is concept. Need to start turning those draws into victories to make something of their season. Got into the playoffs last year, just couldn't quite turn it on them. Armando Dobra got his 4th goal of the season, while Michael Cheek also got his 4th goal of the season, closing in on 300 appearances for his football club, Michael Cheek. And with a bit of a bump in the road, 2 draws and a defeat to Oldham in the last 3 for Chesterfield. Frustrating times, but you feel a victory isn't too far away. A lot of the big talking points came in Cheltenham this weekend, and it didn't resolve horse racing. Cheltenham 0, Oldham 3. Oldham with 3 consecutive victories with 3 consecutive clean sheets. Oldham with one of the highest expected goals in the division as they secure 3 wins on the spin for the first time since April 2019 in the EFL. And only Gillingham and Oldham are still unbeaten away from home. Both have played 5 games, winning 2, drawing 3. Remember, Oldham didn't win in their first 6. Were playing well, had a high expected goals, high shots on target, were unlucky in the Colchester game. The Fleetwood game felt they probably should have won those games. A point was deserved against Gillingham. Didn't get those. They're now getting the rubs of the green. But it was the home side who suffered a 7th defeat in 9, just picking up 4 points. They did win recently 2 weeks ago with a 1-0 victory over Accrington Stanley at home. But since then, things have turned ugly for the home side as the Robins parted company with manager Michael Flynn after a run of form that sees them in the bottom 2. Cheltenham Town struggling, Michael Flynn out of a job. Those types of performances get you the sack. That was just the case. He led Cheltenham to a 14th place finish last year, getting 60 points. He conceded a lot of goals, though 70 last year, another 17 this year. You just feel the writing's on the wall for the Robins. For me, a big appointment is needed. It has to be right, or their Football League status is in tatters. But to be fair on Michael Flynn, I do think the problems run deeper than the manager, than the players. I think it's upstairs and needs sorting. One of the shocks of the day came at Stadium MK as MK Dons won, Accrington Stanley 2. Unlike buses, as one of the shocks of the day came at Stadium MK as Accrington Stanley stunned the host and win by 2-1. Isaac Sinclair scoring in back-to-back games, gifting Stanley 2 precious victories against Colchester and now MK Dons. Stanley only had 3 points from their first 6 games, now getting 6 points from the last 2. What a difference a week can make. MK Dons no win in 4 now and just 1 win in 6. They've only won 3 games this year. That's come against struggling Barrow, Cheltenham and Newport, who all find themselves struggling this season in the 4th tier. Paul Warne did assemble a new squad, a busy squad, a talented squad, but it's not quite got going just yet. 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats. Like the start of last year, for MK Dons, it's inconsistent, need to start getting better. But that's now 3 defeats on the spin at home against Walsall, Grimsby, and now Accrington Stanley. John Doolan's side pick up a much-needed victory. Talking of much-needed victories, Harrogate Town beat Shrewsbury Town by 2-0. Harrogate lost their last 4 games in League 2 and go back to winning ways at home as they beat struggling Shrewsbury Town. Shrewsbury now only 1 win in their first 9 league games. That did come recently away at the Hive at Barnet. Michael Appleton has lost 14 of his 21 games in charge of Salford. It's a really, really grim reading. I look at the back 3, Stubbs, Boyle and Anderson. It lacks mobility, it lacks pace, and you can get at them for sure. Struggle in League 1 for years and years, and you have a really disastrous season the season before. They went through 3 managers. As well as this, they've had ownership issues. They've had 3 managers in 1 season. They've come down. They've had a slow start. Shrewsbury could be on course for back-to-back relegations. Tipped by a few. I could see it happen to Carlisle, happen to Forest Green. Shrewsbury aren't much better than those 2. Cambridge Life to League 2 continues nicely, actually, with a 2-1 victory over Fleetwood Town. Adam Mayer scoring in back-to-back games for the U's after scoring last weekend away at Grimsby. Cambridge putting on the points on the board nice and early under Neil Harris. Came down last year, slowly rebuilt before they came down. That's why they're ahead of Shrewsbury, because they got things in order in around March. Mark Bonner came back as director of football. Neil Harris came back as manager. And you just feel they're a bit more organised than those sides that came down. Fleetwood Town got relegated 12 months prior to Cambridge. And since being in League 2, it's been inconsistent. 18 wins, 18 draws, 19 defeats. Fleetwood Town, though, this year, just 1 win in 6. That came against 10-men Barrow, who had 10 men for 80 minutes of that one. Fleetwood Town at the moment, I don't see a clear philosophy in the way that Pete Wild wants to play. I do think Pete Wild is the answer for Fleetwood long term. I just think time is needed. But if you're going to give time, you need to start seeing improvement on the pitch. When you need a victory, you need a victory. And the Bluebirds got that yesterday as they got back to winning ways. And Andy Wing's 41st birthday after losing the last 3 games. Fleetwood to Swindon and to Bristol Rovers. It was needed to get back to winning ways. When you look at it, it's 6 defeats in 9. But in the last 7, they've won 3 and they've lost 4. But the way the losses have all come together, it makes it sound worse. But great to get back to winning ways at home. Nice goal from Fletcher to secure a 1-0 win over Crewe. Crewe started the season off to a flyer, won the first 4 games. Since 1 point in 5. A lot of long ball tactics came in yesterday. Lee Bell started last season excellently well and has overachieved for the last 2 years and maybe got hopes up a little bit with those first 4 games. Played some glorious football, but maybe going through a tough period right now. Some tough games coming for Crewe. But for Barrow, brilliant victory at Holker Street. Lastly, the points were shared in Colchester as Colchester draw with Bristol Rovers 1-1. Bristol Rovers go 6 unbeaten, 4 wins, 2 draws as Darryl Clark's sides are stronger, harder to beat and defensively sound. Only 1 shot on target yesterday, but that found its way into the Colchester net. The problem for the U's, drawing games of football. It's never a problem when you're getting points on the board, but it's stopping them going from the next step. It stopped them getting a playoff spot last year from those early draws. 5 1-1 draws in the first 9. Danny Callan needs a 1-1 draw. At times, I think a bit more urgency and a gamble is needed to try and win games. And I think Colchester will be just fine if they start winning games. Thank you so much for watching this week in League 2. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you think down below. What would you like to see be introduced? We had a managerial casualty. We had lots of goals. We had teams getting back to winning ways. We've got teams on the up, teams on the down. But if you could do me a favour, like the video, subscribe down below. And until next time, I will see you later. This is your home of League 1 and 2 content.